LEGO Fortnite Odyssey is officially here, and our first update, named Storm Chasers, brings with it a brand new crafting system overhaul, an all-new cave and resource system, the Storm King, the Thunder Lord, and so much more. And guys, I've already jumped in and played so much of this update, so today we're going to be taking you through everything you need to know to be an expert when you hop in. Along with that, I'm also going to be sharing some inside secrets straight from the developers themselves, as if you didn't know, I'm currently at LEGO headquarters celebrating the launch of this update with the developers and team themselves, so make sure you guys watch all the way through, and also make sure you subscribe so you can say you were here before 1 million. But I don't want to take up too much of your time, so let's jump straight into this. And I think the first thing we have to talk about is the all-new crafting system, and it might be the first thing you notice when you load in, because every single tool that you might have already owned will look completely different after this update. And might I add that these look absolutely amazing. There's so many new ones to discover, and I'm sure the community is going to go absolutely insane with their finds. But actually getting into the crafting bench, you'll see that there's a ton of not only new tools, but also new ways to make these tools. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that the customizability here is ridiculous. And as you can see, as I hover over different resource types, it's going to make different types of tools. And just to give you an example, if I go ahead and choose something like copper to build this pickaxe, I can also choose a resource for the handle, and simply choosing these different resources will completely adjust the way that the durability will work. And not only that, obviously it'll adjust everything else like damage, knockback, and speed. So to give you a simple example here, let's go ahead and actually just make the best pickaxe we possibly can. And right now it just looks like that's going to be an amber pickaxe. So yeah, quite simply, we just acquired ourselves a very good pickaxe. And like I said, the options are basically endless with how many different combinations you can do. So jump in and try that out. And I promise you, everything we're going to be talking about today is good news, except for this next point, because as I went into my chest when I loaded in for the first time, I noticed something absolutely horrible. And if you don't notice it already, cheese went from a rare item in the game to uncommon, which I am terrified about, because as you know, cheese is the best item in the game, and I swear that LEGO Fortnite just nerfed it. So if anyone from the LEGO Fortnite team is watching this, please reconsider that decision. And don't you worry, I already told the developers here at LEGO HQ to revert, but I don't know what's going to happen. Either way, if we can get a rest in peace cheese in the comments, then that would really make me feel a little bit better. Anyway, as I'm here in my main village, I might as well show you guys some of the new villagers, because as you can see, we have goldfish here. This seems like a villager that just kind of wanders around, but there's one that's a little bit more important, and his name is Caden. As soon as you load up into an existing world, Caden should be at your main village, and if you interact with him, he'll show you the Storm Chasers village on your map. And this is super important for the progression of this update, because if you didn't know, most of the progression in this update will all take place in the Storm Chasers base camp. I've already leveled it up with my friends here quite a bit, but as you continue on, you're going to be discovering some pretty interesting things. And while I haven't gotten too far in this yet, if you go over to the village square, you'll see that you upgrade it basically like any of these event upgrade villages, where instead of just depositing resources, you actually have to complete tasks. And my first little secret to share from the developers, since I haven't gotten that far, is that apparently when you get to the last level of this village, that's when you're going to go ahead and fight the Storm King. So make sure you're fully prepared when that happens. But before you can do that, when you get to level 8 of this village, the developers also let me know that you'll have to defeat Raven first. Obviously, Raven has been a big part leading up to this update, and we had no idea what part they were going to play in the actual update themselves, but it seems like Raven will be some sort of boss that you'll have to defeat. And if you thought that Raven and the Storm King were the only two bosses you have to defeat, you are completely wrong, because I already jumped in, and like I said, I played quite a bit. And another boss that I unfortunately came across and ended up losing a totem of return to is the Thunder King. This guy will 2-hit you if you don't have proper charms on, and as you can see here, that is exactly what happened to me. So I'll talk a little bit more about how to find him in a little bit. The bosses in this new update are no joke, so make sure you have proper charms and resources so you don't end up like me. Now, when I opened up my inventory after this update, you can see that every single item got a complete overhaul, and they all have new rarities. So some of the items you might have had before the update will have a completely different color, and they'll be used for entirely new things, like building these tools that you already saw. But anyway, believe it or not, besides these Storm King, these are basically all small changes compared to what I'm going to talk about next. And that's going to be finding the Storm mini biome. That's basically a whole thing in itself, because as you can see here, this will already be generated in your worlds, and you'll have to just look around for a storm in the sky, which is not hard to find. But as soon as you get there, you'll notice that there's an outer ring, and as you enter this ring, you'll be immediately hit with a timer on your screen. It'll be 30 seconds by default, and as you enter, it's just going to count down until it hits 0. And be careful if it hits 0, because the storm will completely possess you if you're inside of it, and it'll it'll take you out. There are some things that can help with this, like this brand new storm fruit, which will give you 10 seconds more inside of the zone, as well as charms like the storm chaser charm, which is brand new and increases your heart, armor, and length of time on your storm timer. It'll also reduce the damage taken from storm energy attacks, so if you're going into the storm, I definitely recommend making that charm and having a few storm fruits on hand. But as you enter this biome and start fighting the enemies, just be super careful because these enemies will keep respawning and you can never completely clear it out. And within this biome, you're also going to notice that there's a ton of new enemies that you've never seen before, like the storm roller, the crawler, which is super annoying, and I've already encountered a few and taken them down. And then we also have things like the acolyte, which basically act as villagers, but they're possessed by the storm and all wield different enemies and can also teleport. So let's take a breather real quick because yeah, overall there's just so much to this update, and it honestly feels like we're playing an entirely new game, which is absolutely amazing, guys. We're just over a year into Lego Fortnite Odyssey, as it's now called, and it's absolutely incredible. There's so much new progression and customizability with all these items, and it's so much fun. So hop in if you haven't already. But we're not even close to being done because next we're going to talk about something new, which is the fact that as you're just progressing along your world, you're going to notice that there's a big change in the way that you accumulate items. And what I mean by that are the randomly generated chests across your world, as well as supply drops, and the golden chests are all going to drop better loot, and it'll be scaled to wherever you are in your world. So say you just started a world and you open a chest, you're going to get pretty basic loot, but as you progress further and further, you're going to start finding better and better items. This makes it feel a lot more rewarding, and it doesn't feel like everything's completely useless because let's be honest, as we progress through these worlds, back in the day it was basically useless to open any chest unless you were trying to find cheese. So yeah, I definitely recommend not ignoring these chests after the update because they're way better. Anyway, bringing the conversation back to the Storm King himself, this is something that I'm going to be doing on live stream in just a few hours as of the time you're watching this video. So if it hasn't already happened, stay tuned to the Lego official YouTube channel where I'm going to be live from Lego headquarters fighting the Storm King for the first time. But I'm obviously not going to leave you guys without footage of the Storm King in this first update video. So on screen here, my editor is throwing in some footage of the Storm King boss battle. I have no idea what you guys are watching right now because like I said, I'm going to be doing this on live stream and I want my raw and genuine reactions, so I'm not spoiling it myself. But yeah, this is what the Storm King boss battle will look like, and credit to Lego Fortuna for this footage. And yeah, like I said, I'm sure this boss battle looks absolutely insane, and if you guys were wondering, I'm doing a full playthrough here on YouTube when I get back home to my normal setup. Like I already mentioned, I'm here at Lego HQ, and I definitely want to fight the Storm King on my own setup where I feel like I can actually conquer him, because if I do it here, I'll probably just get cooked. So yeah, be on the lookout and subscribe with notifications for that. I'm super sorry I couldn't have my full-length gameplay playthrough as I normally do with these updates, but it will happen very, very soon, and it's going to be a sick video that you're not going to want to miss. But yeah, guys, I think I got through most of the main parts of this update. I'm sure there's a few minor things that I might have forgot about, so sound off in the comments and let me guys know what your guys' favorite part of this update is. And also, just let me know how you're feeling overall. Is this a W update? I personally think it's one of the best ones we've ever gotten, and it makes this game so much more fun. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave the video at that. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like. And if you're watching this right after it drops, also be sure to tune into the official Lego stream where you're going to see me, Brave, Danny, and Epic Bricks fight the Storm King for the first time. And then, like I said, after that, I'll have my full gameplay playthrough here on my channel. But that's been about it. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.